So welcome back to the next series and me reviewing all the NFL teams' preseasons and moves heading into the regular season and my predictions overall. Same format as last time. We're gonna keep the NFL standings, the conferences, key additions, key subtractions, schedules, the layouts, predictions, whether or not they'll win, lose, or toss-up games, X factors, floors, ceiling, expectations also the same, and the order is where I think these seasons will end up being at the end of the season. But before we get into that, we got some free agent signings from last night. We got Quandre Diggs to the Titans and Eagles get some linebacker help with Shaquille Quarterman. Overall, I think the Quandre Diggs signing, I don't think it'll move the needle too much. It will be more explained in depth when it get to the Titans. And the Eagles, it's just like there's not really big of a change really that impacts them overall. So until that point, we can't really change it. I still feel like they'll be at the same overall team as a whole. First off, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last year they went 10-7, 5-1 in conference. Their key additions is Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Dante Jackson, Troy Fatanu, Patrick Queen, Van Jefferson, Deshaun Elliott, and the possibility where they could get Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver from the 49ers, in a trade. I put them all in question marks because nothing's confirmed yet. It literally just got announced like earlier this night. So, for the sake of this, I can't really have a fair prediction of it because nothing's confirmed. However, if it were to confirm, I will redo this entire section of the video and like basically make an update with this. And also, given the fact they also got Justin Fields, I think it's a pretty solid move. We really didn't really use him properly. I'm a Bears fan, by the way, so we didn't really give him the right tools to succeed, and we'll see that further on when we get to the Bears. However, in exchange, they lost Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, their other two quarterbacks. So they basically just clean house on quarterback. Their punter, Presley Harvey the third, and wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Overall for their ceiling, it really just depends on like how these toss-up games go. And as you can tell, it's like they have a solid amount of toss-up games. They have about five really that they could just like win or lose. Where I can see it. Then they come from the Bengals, the Falcons, the Colts, the Cowboys, and Raiders. Really five teams really. And other than that, just like they have like a couple easy wins in there, but also have like a lot of losses. This is not an easy schedule for them, really. And I think it's just because of the fact of Mike Tomlin's voodoo magic of him always having a winning season. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go well as far because honestly, they can literally go 14-3 if Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both suck, which is also a main reason of why I put the X factor is how does the quarterback room on the Steelers perform. However, they still could go 10-7, but it really just depends on the play of Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. But in reality, I think they're going 9-8. No, 8-9. My fault. Because the main factor is they went 5-1 last year because of how many injuries were in the division, and every team is coming back relatively healthy. So I don't think that's gonna happen again. So I don't think they are competitive enough in order to do it. And if they were, it would have to be because of the fact they got carried by their defense the entire year. Next up is the Bengals. Last year they went 9-8 and 1-5 in the division. They got Geno Stone, Von Bell, Zach Moss, Sheldon Rankins, Trent Brown. Good addition to the offensive line as a whole, and tight end Mike Gesicki. Overall, I think this is an alright addition to it. However, the only reason I can say alright is because of who they lost, which is running back Joe Mixon, wide receiver Tyler Boyd, offensive tackle Jonah Williams, nose tackle DJ Reader, and cornerback Cebu Awus. And yeah, just like it comes the schedule with all that sort of like mix up is the fact that it's like they also don't have like that many good teams that they could get consistently like wins off of. And mainly just because of the conference. The conference they're playing is so good. It's just like they have the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers who are all still like really good teams no matter what. But also in the non-conference, they have to go against the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Like these are all teams that really would be able to beat him. However, the rest of that they can win a good amount of games. But overall, it all depends on how healthy Joe Burrow can be. In the offensive side, Jamar Chase. The loss of Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd is very impactful to it because they kind of helped Jamar Chase in a more of a supplement type of way of being able to ease off the load for him. This would be like the first time that Jamar Chase is really going to be by himself. in this offense, so we'll have to see how that goes. And overall for the floor, I think if Joe Burrow can get hurt, I think they're gonna go like 7-10. However, he stays healthy, I think they could honestly go 10-7. However, I think the offense outside of Jamar would not be up to par as usually is. However, I think because of that and overall the health of the division, I think they're gonna go 9-8 again. I think they're gonna have the same record as last year. Next up is the Baltimore Ravens. Um, had a lot of cap space that negatively impacted their entire offseason mainly because they lost a lot of good pieces, mainly in edge Javion Clowney, wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Their two running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. They lost their tackle Morgan Moses, not Boss. I think it's someone else. Moses. Guard John Simpson, Geno Stone, and their linebacker Patrick Queen. However, in exchange, they did gain back Derrick Henry. Not necessarily gain, but they gained a new weapon on the offense, and they also got cornerback Nate Wiggins III and wide receiver Nelson Aguilar. But even despite that, it's just kind of like they still have a good schedule ahead of them with based upon how I think the team's going to perform. I think just like they have a lot of games where they can just win in a row. Besides from the week one, they can just go on a tear and just lead it up into a bunch of wins overall. However, there's still a lot of teams that could still beat them. And I think because of that, it's just kind of the main factors would be the loss to the cap space and how well Derrick Henry can play. Because if he can't play up to par, then it's just kind of they're not going to do well. They can honestly go 12-5. However, I think they can go 3-4. But however, it's just kind of a thing where it's not a super confident 3-4. I think it could be closer to 12-5, honestly. So I think it just really just depends how the mood I am, and you'll see it later on how I kind of I'm flip flopping between these two ideas. Next up is the Browns. Last year they went 11-6 overall, 3-3 in the conference. Again, one of the teams that got badly beaten by injuries. However, the record's still very impressive for that, and it even got better from it. They had a wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. They had two linebackers Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks. They had quarterback Jameson Winston and kicker Cade York. However, they did lose Sion Takitaki, quarterback Joe Flacco, and linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. And again, just looking at this schedule is just kind of a lot of teams where they can just honestly just beat them. Cowboys, and they can beat them. Jaguars, I think beat them. Giants, and they can beat them. It is of course assuming that Nick Chubb, the other player that got heavily injured last year, he missed all except for 3 games, I believe. He is coming back and he'll be fully healthy, I think. However, I do think that they didn't really miss him that much and as expected. But however, with the additions of it, I think it will be a pretty easy schedule for them. However, but the main factor is health. Literally, health determines this entire year, really, because this is one of the few teams that is generally, I truly believe has the best chance to go in 17-0. However, I think they're gonna go 14-3, mainly just because there's gonna be some regression from injuries, mainly from like a Nick Chubb, basically. And overall, it's just kind of that's kind of what the AFC North is mainly just the difference between injuries and then the performances. Browns and Bengals are coming back from a lot of major injuries, so we gotta see how well they can perform. And Steelers and Ravens, they gotta see if they can perform up to par. Insanely competitive division overall. Heck yeah, I can see the Browns being 14-3. Ravens, as I said, even though yes earlier I put them as 13-4, they can still go 12-5. They're honestly the closest team I think can beat the floor. It's it's a 12 point 5, honestly. It's one of those things where it's you could just put a bet on it and go over or under, really. And it's just one of those teams where it's I have no idea how they're gonna how to play this year. They're just a team that's just gonna be a wild card. Bengals I think can go 9-8, and Steelers can go 8-9. Next up will be the Minnesota Vikings. Last year they went 7-10, 2-4 in conference, and they got Blake Cashman, Sam Donald, Jonathan Greenard, Aaron Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Jerry Tiller, Dallas Turner, and Andrew Von Ginkel. Ginkel, I think. Sounds pretty close to Nickel, honestly, but that's not his point. They mainly lost Kirk Cousins, Marcus Davenport, Joshua Dobbs, Jordan Hicks, Danielle Hunter, Greg Joseph, Dean Lowry, Alexander Madison, KJ Osborne, and DJ Wanam. That's kind of a fun name to say, honestly. Wanam. I'll have fun with that. And the schedule is just like they're gonna get beat by a lot of teams. Like there's only like they can only have like four teams that they can actually have like somewhat possibilities of being against. But yeah, just kind of just like and yes, like you see Packers as a toss up. I'll explain that later. For reference, I'm a Bears fan, so I hate the Packers. Slight bias to it. I ain't gonna lie. However, it's just kind of like fuck the Packers, honestly. But the main thing is just be like quarterback. Like who will step up for the quarterbacks within Minnesota, and also just like how well Justin Jefferson can play. Really, like that would also be like the next like main concern because if he doesn't play well, then it's just kind of like the team's gonna suck, or if he just sits out. Like it really just depends because this is another one of those teams that I think can go almost 17. However, I think at best I can go 6-11, but I expect them to go about 4-13. However, I do think Justin Jefferson can carry them to 5 wins. Really, like realistically, I think he can carry them to 5 wins. Whoever I think is again like the Ravens. It's like I don't know. It's like it really just depends. Like honestly, I think it's closer to like a 4-13. Really. So we'll see. Next up's the Packers. Um, fuck them. But like that's the point. Key additions add Javon Boyard, linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. They got Josh Jacobs, which my dad's a Razors fan, so he kind of hates it honestly. But like one of my uncles thought it was kind of funny, honestly, which I thought was pretty funny too. Not gonna lie, the insults between them were going crazy. They got kicker Greg Joseph, running back Marshawn Lloyd, safety Xavier McKinney, and offensive line Jordan Morgan. However, they did lose David Batanari, a huge loss. They lost Aaron Jones, Joshua Nijman. They got Jonathan Owens, and yes, I understand I misspelled it. I misspelled it for the jokes, but I know that people may comment it either way. But we might as well just call him Simone Biles' husband, just for the memes. Offensive line John Ruin Jr. and safety Darnell Savage Jr. Again, this is like one of those scenes where it's just kind of like I have no idea how well it be because it really just depends on like a lot of factors. So as you can tell, like there's a lot of like inconsistencies for it. Like yes, I have the Vikings as a toss up because I think they're the worst team that could theoretically beat them. Because I think the Packers are like the worst team in the tier above them. You know what I mean? I also have a series of shorts I'm gonna be running like during between videos where kind of like you kind of see more of a tier list, kind of see more visually like where I'm thinking these teams going to be, so it will be further explained through there. Green Packers hypotheticals. Who is protecting the blind side? They lost David Batanari. That's a huge piece of offensive line. Who is going to be protecting Jordan Love? Josh Jacobs bounce back. Will Josh Jacobs play like he did in the year he led in rushing yards, or will he just continue to be kind of mid? Floor, I can see him going 3-14. Jordan Love, I think, can go 10-7. And expectations, I think, he's going to go 7-10. Bears. I think this team could honestly go pretty well because it's like we had a huge amount of additions. We got Keenan Allen, Kevin Byard, Roma Duze, Gerald Everett, Jonathan Owens, or again, Simone Biles' husband as a joke. Coleman Shelton, running back DeAndre Swift, quarterback Caleb Williams, which is going to be our main thing. Of course, as I said, the means has to be My Little Princess because who else would it be? However, we did lose Justin Fields, defensive tackle Justin Jones, and wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown. I don't understand why Mr. Brown decided to name all his sons weird ass names. I understand the purpose of it, but still, it's like, come on, dude. And overall, it's like I think we just have like an easier schedule compared to most teams in the league. I think that's one thing most Bears fans are not like a brilliant admitting, but I'm willing to admit it. Because it's like we face like the Titans, we face the Vikings, we're going against the Panthers, the Jaguars, Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots. Those are all like very easy wins, really for us. And I think like some of the teams we can do, we could honestly beat them. Because of course the main factor will be Caleb Williams, really. Like I think he can play solid. I don't think he's gonna be like the greatest rookie quarterback of all time, but I still think he will play pretty well. Because I think overall, I think they can go like to like a 3-4 season. I think they could honestly be like a high up their playoff team, but I just think they're gonna be like one of the, like those like that very high sneaky team that can make some noise, but also like kind of like a low playoff team. Like I can honestly see that really, and it just depends on, as I said, Caleb Williams. Really, it just is. Next up is Detroit Lions. Last year they went 12-5, and their main additions is Terrion Arnold, edge Marcus Davenport, more cornerbacks than Carlton Davis III, Ennis Raxaw Jr., DJ Reader, Amik Robertson, offensive line, Kevin Zelter. However, they did lose one of their better guards in Jonah Jackson, wide receiver Josh Reynolds, and cornerback Cameron Sutton. I don't understand how I mispronounced Reynolds. Everyone loves Ryan Reynolds. Don't understand how I feel ashamed of myself, honestly, but that's the point. We'll keep going. In season, it's just like they have like a again, it's just like everyone says like they have a hard season, which honestly they do. But however, I think this team is just too good for them not to win a lot of games. I think this team can win a lot of games, and like a lot of it is because of the balls of Dan Campbell. Like his ballsy play call, I think can realistically allow them to win a lot of games. And again, it also turns how well Jared Goff plays. I think these two are a match made in heaven together in terms of a quarterback and a coach. And it kind of shows them what I think is going to happen because I think they can honestly go like 14-3. I really think this entire team is based upon the play call of Dan Campbell and Jared Goff because everything else around him is amazing. It really is really good, honestly. And like overall, it's like I think the Bears will finally be good. Hopefully, again, like just some knock some wood. Honestly, I really think it'll be really good. Outside of that, Lions are very easily Super Bowl contenders again. I honestly think they would be. In the standings, I have Lions 14-3, Bears 11-6, Packers 7-10, Vikings 4-13. Next up is the South. Make sure to subscribe and like to help with the YouTube algorithm, and follow the Instagram and TikTok on That One Sports Fans. And I'll be signing out later. Peace, guys.